Good morning! How are you? We are now on our topic for the finals. So, hapit na gid ang ato ang semestral break or hapit na gid mahuman ang ato ang first sem. Now, let's discuss what are the essential features of RA 8551, amending certain sections of RA 6975. So as we go along with our lessons, the students would be able to know what are the essential features of RA 8551 that was amended to the essential features of RA 8551 and what are the new rank classification and the powers and functions of the PNP, the general qualifications for PNP appointment, the manning levels, the rank classification, key positions in the Philippine National Police, the appointment of PNP officers and members, and lateral entry of officers in the PNP, qualifications of chief of city and police stations. I know these were the topics for the semifinals, and I will discuss it. So I will include the topics for the semifinals in my discussion since it tackles all RA 8551. So let's start with the power and functions. So RA 8551, this shall be known as the Philippine National Police Reform and Reorganization Act of 1998. So as we all know, RA 6975 or the DILG Act of 1990, or wherein the Tri-Bureaus and the Philippine Public Safety College was created. And the RA 6975 was further amended to RA 8551. So, RA 8551 is an act providing for the reform and reorganization of the Philippine National Police and for other purposes, amending certain provisions of Republic Act numbered 6975 entitled An Act Establishing the Philippine National Police under a reorganized Department of the Interior and Local Government and for other purposes. Let's give preview with the role of the PNP in the counter-insurgency functions. That is on Section 3 of RA 8551 or the Section 12 of RA 6975 is hereby amended to read as follows. So this, the role of the PNP in the counter-insurgency functions of the government, it was under Section 12 of the previous or with the former law or the former Republic Act, and it is now under Section 3 of RA 8551. So the relationship of the department with the Department of National Defense. So the Department of Interior and Local Government shall be relieved of the primary responsibility on matters involving the suppression of insurgency and other serious threats to national security. So the Philippine National Police shall, through information gathering and performance of its ordinary police functions, only support the armed forces of the Philippines on matters involving suppression or of insurgency, except in cases where the President shall call on the PNP to support the AFP in combat operations. So here in RA 8551, those the PNP or the Philippine National Police has relieved the primary responsibility in fighting insurgency in our country. It was given back to the armed forces of the Philippines. It was only or the Philippine National Police is only a support body of the armed forces of the Philippines. The sole function to suppress or to prevent or to control insurgency in our country is the armed forces of the Philippines. The PNP is only support or is only the support of the Philippine or the armed forces of the Philippines, except in cases where the President shall call on the PNP to support the AFP in combat operations. So, except in cases. So, there are certain instances that the President will call the PNP to help the armed forces of the Philippines. So that was the Section 3 of RA 8551. Now let's go with the powers and functions of the PNP. So what are the powers and functions of the PNP daw? So personnel of the PNP is mandated to, of course, you have to enforce the law, ordinances relative to the protection of lives and property. So if ever where station you are deployed, so you should also help the municipality to enforce the ordinances under the municipality where you are deployed. So you would help also that to enforce the law and the ordinances relative to the protection of lives and properties. Next is to maintain peace and order and take all necessary steps and ensure public safety. Of course, the primary function is to maintain peace and order. Next, investigate and prevent crimes, effect the arrest of criminal offenders, bring offender to justice, and assist in their prosecution. So the main role of a police officer in the criminal justice system: investigate and prevent crimes, effect the arrest of criminal offenders, bring offender to justice, and assist in their prosecution. So investigate and prevent crimes. So how will you prevent crimes? As what I've discussed before, in order for you to prevent crime is to conduct patrol or police visibility in your area. In that way, the criminals would deter themselves to commit the crime. Next, exercise the general powers to make arrest, search, and seizure in accordance with the Constitution and pertinent laws. Of course, to make arrest, search, and seizure. So, as a preview for your future lessons, you have also to effect warrant of arrest, search warrant that is be given by the court, detain the arrested person for a period not beyond what is prescribed by law, informing the person so detained of all his rights under the Constitution. So before you will arrest that person, you should also give him or inform him of his rights, or what we call the Miranda Doctrine or the Miranda rights. So detain the arrested person for a period not beyond what is prescribed by law. So in certain cases where the punishment or what is prescribed by law, say for example, the crime committed by a certain person only prescribe 18 hours of detention under your facility. So within that time, you already have filed the case to the court. So in order not to detain the person beyond the prescriptive period. Next, issue licenses for the possession of firearms and explosive in accordance with the law. Supervise and control the training and operatives of security agencies. So, of course, the PNP has also the function to supervise all private security agencies to issue their firearms and perform such other duties and exercise all other functions as may be provided by law. Now let's go with the general qualifications for PNP appointment. So in the powers and functions of the PNP, when you become part of the organization, so that are your powers and functions, and I hope you would perform all your best to help preserve peace and order in our country. Now let's go with the general qualifications for PNP appointment. So would you ask yourself, unsaon man ako para mahimo akong PNP? Or unsaon man ako in order to be part of PNP? Ma'am, gusto ko magpulis. So you should also look into what are the general qualifications for PNP appointment. So first, a citizen of the Philippines. Of course, you should be a citizen of the Philippines. A person of good moral conduct. So, good moral conduct, maayo, walay nalapas nga sala sa balaod. Must have passed the psychiatric, psychological, drug, and physical tests to be administered by the PNP or by any NAPOLCOM accredited government hospital for the purpose of determining physical and mental health. So of course, before you enter the organization, you will pass different tests, physical, psychological, medical test. So physical test, so i-test ang imuhang say for example the agility test, push up, curl up, sit-ups, dagan, pila ka imong makaya. The psychological test or the neuro examination. So the medical test, like we also have dental test. Ihapon kung pila ang imuhang ngipon, and if ever you have the wisdom tooth, if kanang wisdom tooth is makababag during your training, so tangtango na siya. So appeal na sa mga test nga maagian nimo before you will enter the service. Next, must possess a formal baccalaureate degree from a recognized institution of learning. So of course, you should be graduate from any Bachelor of Criminology or any 4-year course. Why man any 4-year course? Because anyone can be a member of the Philippine National Police. Not just criminology graduates, not just criminologists. We also have teachers, nurses, engineers. What are the other forms of baccalaureate graduates? Basta 4 years, you can enter the service as long as you have the eligibility or what we call the passing of board exam of 4 years, or if ever you have not passed the board exam for the criminology licensure examination. So if makapasar lang ka sa NAPOLCOM, that is the entrance test as your ticket to apply for the PNP. Next, must be eligible in accordance with the standards set by the Commission. Next, must not have been dishonorably discharged from military employment or dismissed for cause from any civilian position of the government. Must not have convicted by final judgment of an offense or crime involving moral turpitude. So, if ever you should not be convicted by any final judgment of crime involving moral turpitude. Next, must be at least 1 meter and 62 meters or 1.62 meters in height for male and 1 meter and 57 centimeters for female. Or kanang giingon na to nga male should be 5'4" and female should be 5'2", male should be 5'4". So that is 1.67 meters and 1.57 for meters for female. But as you can see or hear in the news that Senator Bato de la Rosa on the third reading proposed a bill that lowers the height requirement when you enter the tri-bureaus. Okay, so now when you say lower, the male is qualified when his height reaches only 5'2", and from female pwede na makasulod ang 5 flat. But that is again on the third reading. Wala pa na siya na final, and if mahimo na siyang balao, dili pa na siya ingon nga magamit dayon because gaman pa man na siya og IRR, and before na siya mo take into law. So as I am discussing this now, the PNP is still not accepting lower height than the required height unless you have height waiver. Okay? And let's discuss the waiver on our next topic. Okay? Next, must not weigh more or less than 5 kilograms from the standard weight corresponding to his over height, age, and sex. So of course, the PNP will also look into your BMI or your body mass index. Your weight should be proportionate to your height as well as your age. If mulapas na siya, dili gyapon ka qualified. Okay? Because it should be proportionate in your weight, in your height as well as your age. Kung taas ka, unya imong height kuwang, unya imong weight na nobra, so di gyapon na sa sakto. So if you know that you are underqualified under the BMI, so before ka mo mag-apply, magkuandro ka, kintay og tambok ka, magpaniwang, dapat sige kag sukod sa imuhang weight and height og musakto na ba siya. Dili kay kabalo na kang nanglapas ang wala na sakto imong BMI, mo-apply ka, so sayang ang kwarta, sayang ang panahon. Kung imo pa lang nang gipagamay before ka ni-apply, kay kabalo namang kadaan, so it's better nga kana imong buhaton. Okay? Next. For new applicant, must not be less than 21 nor more than 30 years of age except for the last qualification. The above enumerated qualification shall be continuing in character, and in absence of any of them at any given time shall be ground for separation or retirement from service. So the age qualification should be not less than 21 years old but not more than 30 years old. But this 30 years old can be waived when you apply for an age waiver. Okay? You can enter the police service when you, even if you are over 35 years old. Okay? I know, if you are over 30 years old. Why? Because the PNP allows that, or allows a certain applicant to be over 30 unless he has waived or he has an age waiver. Okay? So, mayon kag not less than 21. So, of course, kung 20 pa lang ka, or mo 21 pa ka during the sa wala pa application, of course, dili gyapon ka madawat. So, dapat inig mga apply ka, you are already 21 years old. Within the duration of 21 to 30 years old, pwede pa ka makasud og PNP or any tri-bureaus. But the catch is here. When you apply for an age waiver, it is not an assurance that you will be or you can enter the police service. Why? Because the minimum qualification of an applicant should be 21 to 30 years old. I-honor lang na nila ng 30 years old above if the number of applicants is lower than the quota they have announced. So say for example under quota, say for example the region 7 has a quota of 452 police new members of police service. Nya ang nang-apply is kuwang ra sa desired nga quota. So with that time, pwede nga i-honor ang imuhang age waiver. But kutig hapon ang age waiver. Daghan pa man og papermahan, dapat muagi pa ka sa Napolcom, i-honor pa na imuhang waiver. As a piece of advice, whenever you are 21 to 30 years old, apply na. Samtang wala pa ka naabtan sa edad. 30 years old, when you reach more than 30, maglisod na gid kag apply. It is age waiver does not guarantee that you can enter the police service. Okay? Namtay giingon nga option. So option ra gihapon ang more than age or more than the age qualification. That also applies with the height waiver. Kuti ang height waiver because mo-honor lang sila og height waiver if that person comes from an indigenous tribe or indigenous group that is also recognized by the indigenous group of the Philippines. So magpa-member kag indigenous group and that indigenous group is not a recognized indigenous group in the country, so maglisod lang gihapon ka. So mo-honor sila og height waiver as long as nakapapirma ka na sa Napolcom, gi-acknowledge ka sa ilahang tribo nga leader, may ana nga mga instances. But that is very dugay ang process, kuti ang process because of that certain qualification. But if I have to give my opinion, when the law will be passed and signed by the president, so that I can guarantee that those under height nga mga applicant, bae man o laki, makasulod na sila even though under height sila. Basta lang kay dili sila mula pa sa age nga gi-required sa PNP. Okay? Now let's go with the manning levels. Unsa man pud kuno ng manning levels? Manning levels, pila ang desired PNP officer to that certain population. So, on the average nationwide, the manning levels of the PNP shall be approximately in accordance with a police to population ratio of 1:500. So, 1 police officer is to 500 persons or with a 500 population. That should be a desired ratio between a police officer to the population or to the persons. Okay? So that applies, so that 1:500 applies on the urban areas. No, that applies to rural areas. 1:500, say for example, naa ka sa province, so province or a certain municipality. If gamay ra ang population diha, so the PNP, tanawod man sad na sa PNP inig-deploy nila. Say for example, ang isa ka municipality kuwang og police officer kay wala nakuha nila ang target nga 1:500 per population. Say for example, so mo nang tagaan og duga nga PNP member. 1:1 police officer is to 1,000 persons applies in urban areas. Okay? Provided that the minimum police to population ratio shall not be less than 1 policeman for every 1,000 persons. Provided further that urban areas shall have a higher minimum police to population ratio as deemed prescribed by the regulations. So, however, with the fast-growing number of the citizens of the Philippines and the limited number of quota allocation, the Philippine National Police is still unable to cope up with this ratio. So, tungod kay ang atong quota is ginagmay lang every tuig. Say for example, ang quota nga ihatag sa Philippine National Police is only 1,000 that is applicable already to all regions or to the whole country. So, pila ka regions ang mag-ilog ana. So, say for example, ang Region 7, ang 10,000 i-divide sa pila ka region na apay NCR. So, nga na. Mo? So, nga na lagi hapon ang tendency. sa ato ang Region 7 may nalag ma-allocatean taog more than 500 or 400 nga quota. So ingana gyapon ang this should be a desired manning ratio between a police officer to the population. But tungod kay gamay ang atoong quota allocation and paspas ang atoang population, maglisod gihapon og cope up sa ratio nga desired sa isa ka police officer to the person. Now let's go with the Pnp Rank Classification. So in your book or in your reference material, nagamit pa na siya og old rank classification. We already have now the new rank classification. Mo na ang gi-apply karon or gigamit sa ato ang Philippine National Police. Murag it was being used mag 2 years na siguro karon. So the PNP utilizes the new rank classification because murag sa Asia, murag sa whole Southeast Asia, kita na lang ang wala pa naggamit o the same with the military rank classification. Diba sa military kay the same naman natay colonel, lieutenant, nga na, brigadier general, general, lieutenant general, major general, lieutenant colonel, major captain. So in order nga dili maglibog ang mga tao or with the same kanang parihara og kanang kuan ba rank classification sa army, mao nang nag-utilize og bag-o nga new rank classification adapted from the Armed Forces of the Philippines. The lowest rank of PO1 before is now called patrolman or patrol woman. Diba sa ato ang Armed Forces of the Philippines, that is private or private first class. Okay? PO2 before, now it is called police corporal. So makita, diba I've let you draw their rank insignia. So I hope nga nag-research mo, kabalo na mo, naka-familiarize na mo what are the rank insignias of the new rank or not new rank, the rank classification of the PNP. So, diba ang ato ang non-commissioned officer, it is called non-commissioned officer from the rank of Police Executive Master Sergeant, or that was SPO4 below down to PO1. Now it is called SPO4 is now Police Executive Master Sergeant down to patrolman. It is called non-commissioned officer. So ang ilang insignia is the red and black borderline in wavy curves and stripes. Diba nga na maihap ang linya. But when you say SPO4 or no, the Police Executive Master Sergeant, diba sa iyang insignia, sa iyang badge or not badge or the rank insignia na murag star sa tunga. Okay? So that is somehow kuan nga hapit na siya the next rank nga iyang pwede nga ma-promote is in the rank of police lieutenant. So let's discuss again the new rank classification. So PO2 before, that is now police corporal. PO3 that is police staff sergeant. SPO1 that is police master sergeant. SPO2 police senior master sergeant. SPO3 police chief master sergeant. And SPO4 police executive master sergeant. So those police executive master sergeant down to patrolman or patrol woman is considered to be non-commissioned officer. So mao na siya ang makita ninyo nga mostly nga mga police officers nga naa sa nagkadaiyang lungsod. When you say Chief of Police, so dapat commission officer na siya. Ang ihang lowest rank should be police lieutenant, or that was called police inspector before. Now it is police lieutenant. Ang gitawag nila sa army og first loy. Nga na. That is now called the police lieutenant. Police lieutenant is the minimum rank when you become chief of police of a certain municipality. Those SPO4 down to those police executive master sergeant down to patrolman is not qualified to become a chief of police in a certain locality or municipality. Si police executive master sergeant can be an acting chief of police if wala pay na hatag nga chief of police sa isa ka area. Okay? Now, the inspector before is now called the police lieutenant. So, we are now talking with the commission officer. Diba? When you say inspector, when you say police lieutenant up to police captain, their insignia is the anahaw leaves. So, kanang gitawag na to og from police lieutenant to police captain, the rank insignia is the anahaw leaves. Okay? Next, police senior inspector before, that is police captain now. Chief inspector, or that is police major today, police major up to police colonel, ang ilahang rank insignia is Sampaguita clusters. So, I know nga nag-research mo about ani, so naka-familiarize na mo. So, police major before, chief inspector before, that is now rank police major. Superintendent before, that is police lieutenant colonel now. Senior superintendent, that is police colonel. Okay? Senior superintendent sa una, police colonel na karon. Next, the chief superintendent up to the police director general, mao na ang sa una. Ang karon, police chief superintendent, police brigadier general na karon. Police major general for police director, police lieutenant general now, before that is called deputy director general, and the police general mo na ang ato ang gitawag og sa una mo na si police director general. So police general mo na ang chief police brigadier general to up to police general mo na ang lahang rank insignia are stars. Okay? So police brigadier general, pila man iyang star. So 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, and 4 star. Only the police general or the chief PNP has the rank insignia of 4 stars. Below from his rank is only 3 star general, 2 star general, or 1 star general. Only the chief of the PNP appointed by the president should have a rank insignia of 4 star. Muna gitawag itong 4 star general. Muna na ang pinaka-head sa PNP. So, kinsa man ang atong head sa PNP karon? Our current chief PNP is Police General Dibold Sinas. Muna na ang ihang rank insignia. Muna tayo 4 ka star. Now, let's go with the key positions in the Philippine National Police. So, key positions daw. Unsa nga mga position ang naa sa PNP. So, the Chief PNP, the head of the PNP with the rank of Police Director General, shall have the position or title of, so the Chief PNP and his powers and functions, to direct and control tactical as well as strategic movement, the deployment, placement, utilization of the PNP or any of its units and personnel, including equipment, facilities, and other resources. So, he is now in charge for the deployment. Asa i-deploy si 2-star General Procopio. O, say for example, asa nga station na niya butang. So, he is now in charge of the PNP deployment in the whole country, to issue detailed implementing policies and instruction regarding personnel, funds, properties, records, correspondence, such as other matters as may be necessary to effectively carry out the functions, power, and duties of the Bureau. So, implementing rules and regulation. So, appeal or implementing policies and instruction, mauna ang task ni Chief PNP. Next is to delegate to subordinate officials with respect to the units under their respective commands in accordance with the rules and regulations prescribed by the NAPOLCOM. So, delegate subordinate officials. So, delegation of authority, the deployment of PNP members. So, mo na ang trabaho sa atoang Chief PNP. So, pasensya na gid mo sa itong background, kayang iro. Next, the Deputy Chief PNP for Administration. So, the second in command. So, the second in command, it could be a 3-star general. With the rank of police, unsa man siya? Deputy Director General. So, unsa man ang Police Deputy Director General? So, with the rank of Police Brigadier, Police Brigadier General. Deputy Director General. No, it's Police Lieutenant General di. So, Police Lieutenant General, mao na ang atoang mao niya ang atoang second in command or kanang gibutang nato og Deputy Chief PNP for Administration. Next, so the mission of the Tdca is to assist the Chief PNP in the exercise of responsibilities relative to the personnel, to the PNP personnel, human resource, and doctrine development. So he is in charge with the personnel or the administration, human resource, logistics, and any other administrative functions. So siya anang atoang siya ang na-assign sa atoang administration. So the function of the Tdca, so the mission of the the function of the Tdca is to assist the Chief PNP in the directing, controlling, and supervising of the national administrative support units, units such as the logistics, muna iyahang isa sa function, support service, computer service, finance service. So, in a special order dated January 19, 2020, Police Lieutenant General Camilo Pancreatius Cascolan is designated second in command as Deputy Chief PNP for Administration. So, Police Lieutenant General Cascolan is our new PNP or Deputy Chief PNP for Administration. So he is now second in command from Police General Debold Sinas. So he is his function is under the administrative body.
Next, the Deputy Chief for Operations. So, the third in command of the PNP with the rank of, unsa man nga rank. So, police, before it was Police Deputy Director General. So, the same rank with the Police Chief for PNP for Administration. So, the same gyapon, Police Lieutenant General. So, who is now our Deputy Chief PNP for Operations? We have Police Lieutenant Guillermo Lorenzo Eleazar, or the third in command as the Deputy Chief PNP for Operations. So, si Cascolan, so Police Lieutenant General Cascolan is our Deputy Chief PNP for Administration, and Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar is our third in command, or the Deputy Chief PNP for Operation. So, they are called the, unsa man na sila? 3-star general. So, isa na sila sa ato mga pinaka-importante nga tao under sa PNP. So, what is now the mission of the Deputy Chief PNP for Operations? So, he is to assist the Tdca in the exercise of responsibilities relative to PNP operation. So, kung kadto si administration, more on of his office works or the administration of the personnel, kani si operation mo na ni ang intelligence gathering, plans, police community relations, investigation, and integrated police activities. So, mo na ni ang iyang function or ang mission ni Deputy Chief for Operation. Next, what is the function of the Tdca or Tdco? To assist the Chief PNP. Tdca to assist the TCPNP in directing, controlling, and supervising the national operational support units such as crime laboratory, the Maritime Group, Aviation Security Group, Detection Group, Police Security and Protection Group, Intelligence Group, Highway Patrol Group, Civil Security Group, and Police Community Group. Those agencies or departments of the Philippine National Police that is under the task for operations, ang head ana is si Police Lieutenant General Guillermo Eleazar, or the Deputy Chief for Operations. Now, let's go with the Chief Directorial Staff. So, who is now the Chief Directorial Staff? So, Major General Cesar Hawthorne Binag is the new Chief of the Directorial Staff, the Police Forces 4th highest post. So, ang rank kuno ni ang rank sa ato ang Chief Directorial Staff with the rank of Police Deputy Director General before. So, dapat gyapon Police Lieutenant General. But, the new Chief Directorial Staff of the PNP has the rank of Police Major General. So, lower rank siya sa Police Lieutenant General. So, Police Major General Cesar Hawthorne Binag as the new chief of the directorial staff, the police force's fourth highest post. So mo na ang ato ang newly assigned Chief Directorial Staff. So the fourth in command of the PNP with the rank of Police Deputy Director General or the Police Major General shall be the Chief Directorial Staff. So again Chief Directorial Staff should be a minimum rank of Police Lieutenant General. But ang gi-assign karon sa PNP is with the rank only of Police Major General. So dako taas gyapon na siya nga ranggo. The mission of the Tcds is to coordinate, supervise, direct, and issue detailed implementing policies. So again, and other matters as may be necessary to effectively carry out the powers, responsibilities, functions, and duties of the Chief PNP. So the functions, the Tcds are to coordinate all staff activities except in those area or matters reserved by the CPNP, formulates and disseminates staff operating facilities or mga SOP, review staff actions to ensure accuracy and in consonance with the command intentions or policies. So mo na ang ato ang key positions in the Philippine National Police. So isa na sa mga key positions sa ato ang Philippine National Police. So the lower ranks now are considered the directorates. Mao na to ang ato ang the directorates. O at the national headquarters, the head of the different directorate shall have the rank of police director and shall be known of the said directorate. So the directorates are as follows. So, nagyapon the Directorate for Personnel and Records Management, nata under sa Chaplain Service, Headquarters Support Services, Health Services. So when you say Health Services, ang ato ang police doctor dapat na siya rank nga the rank of Police Major General or Police Brigadier General. So mo na ang iyang rank. So legal services ang ato ang mga attorney. Ato mga attorney nga mohandle og legal cases or kanang under sa IAS. Mga attorney mo investigate sa mga cases, administrative cases that are committed by the the PNP members. So natay mga different directorate. So kana mga different directorates for the different offices or departments of the government, of the Philippine National Police rather. So, naana sa inyohang mga reference material, we have the line units, the head of the NCR with the rank of police director and shall assume the position title of director for the National Capital Region Police Office or the rank of police director. So, natay gitawag og police major general. So, down to that members, so muna nato ang mga line units. Or the heads of the remaining police regional offices, so chief superintendent or that is called police brigadier general. So police brigadier general ang mga heads sa regional offices. Okay? Shall have the rank of police chief superintendent and shall assume the title of the regional director. So a regional director should have a minimum rank of police brigadier general. Okay? So nasa inyong so the heads of police provincial offices which based on every province shall have the rank of police colonel. So a provincial director should have a minimum rank of police colonel. Mo na ang senior superintendent before. Shall have superintendent and shall be known as the provincial director. So the heads of city police offices which is based on every chartered city shall have the rank of senior superintendent and shall be known as the city director. So kanang ato ang wala man tay chartered cities ane. So chartered cities kanang gitawag na tuog para sa Cebu.
lahi po ng Cebu City, lahi po ng Mandawi City, Lapu-Lapu City, tanang mga city sa Cebu. Naana sila isa ka head which is called the city director. They are chartered cities. They are not under the they are not a city under the province of Cebu. Okay? Different na sila. So the heads of all city police station, which is based on every component city, shall have the rank of police superintendent, shall be superintendent shall be known as the chief of police or the COP or the CPS. So kaniya to ang Tagbilaran City is the component or is a component of the province of Bohol. So mo nang ato ang Tagbilaran City ang iya gihapon ang head gyapon sa ato ang chief chief of police is mao gyapon si ato ang provincial director. So dapat ang ato ang chief of police of the component city should have the rank of police lieutenant colonel. Okay? So, police lieutenant colonel. Ang ato ang chief of police sa ato ang component city. Component city means appeal na siya sa province. Wala na siya galahi. Isa ra man sa atong city dire, so it is called a component city, which again directly so the head of the chief of police in the Tagbilaran City is the provincial director. The same with the different municipalities in our province. So the heads of all municipal police station, which is based on every municipality, shall be known as chief of police or MPS and shall have the rank of at least police lieutenant general down to police lieutenant. Okay? So, di ba akong giingon ganiha, police lieutenant is the minimum rank when you become the chief of police in a certain municipality or in your locality. Okay? Next, let's go with appointment of PNP members and officers and members. So the appointment of the officers and members of the PNP shall be effected in the following manner. So police officer 1 to senior police officer or kanang gitawag na tuog unsa man? Kanang gitawag na tuog from patrolman to police executive master sergeant. Appointed by the PNP Regional Director for Regional Personnel or by the Chief of the PNP for the National Headquarters Personnel and attested by the Civil Service Commission. Diba? Magsakag yapon ang ranggo appointed by the PNP Regional Director. Next, we have the rank of Police Lieutenant up to Police Lieutenant Colonel appointed by the Chief PNP as recommended by their immediate superiors. So, muna na ito ang commission officer. Next is Police Senior Police Colonel up to Police Lieutenant General appointed by the President upon recommendation of the Chief of the PNP with proper endorsement by the Chairman of the Civil Service Commission and subject to confirmation by the Commission on Appointment. So this rank should be appointed by the President of the Philippines and it should be confirmed by the Commission on Appointments. Tanaon mo na dito kung qualified ba ni siya nga mo next higher in rank or i-assign sa president asa siya nga ingana. So the president has the sole power to recommend by the recommendation of the chief PNP. Next is the Police Director General or kanang ato ang Chief PNP Police General appointed by the president from among the senior officers down to the rank of Police Brigadier General subject to the confirmation by the Commission on Appointments.
provided that the chief of the PNP shall serve a tour of duty not to exceed 4 years, provided further that in times of war or other national emergency declared by Congress, the President may extend such tour of duty by 1 year only, and no further extensions can be made. So, the Chief PNP shall have the tour of duty only 4 years. That is again appointed by the President. So si President ang pwede ra mo appoint og Police General or the Chief PNP. Now let's go with the lateral entry of officers in the PNP. So kaning lateral entry, unsa may pasabot og lateral entry? So from your rank, say for example, your rank is Police Staff Sergeant, mo ditso ka sa mo jump ka ba? Mo jump ka up to Police Lieutenant. So gikan non-commissioned officer, mo jump ka sa as a commissioned officer. That is called lateral entry. Okay? In general, all original appointments of commissioned officers in the PNP shall commence the rank of Police Lieutenant, to include all those with highly technical qualifications applying for the PNP technical services, such as dentists, optometrists, nurses, engineers, and graduates of forensic sciences.